All right. So, is this going to be the most detailed tattoo questionnaire I've ever had? Probably.
Well, so
Because you just got your first one.
yes,
Okay, so you're very young in the game.
I'm very young in the game. Yes,
You're a novice. So this ought to be good. Give me some good tattoo questions.
so I guess some people just get some tattoos just because they thought it was cool, and there's others going to be like deeper meaning behind them. What is your balance between those two? Because obviously a lot of yours is art, so I'm just kind of curious in that general.
I think in the beginning, a lot of them meant a lot more. How can I put this? I thought that they meant a lot more. I put a lot of feeling and emotion and meaning into it, right? About like what I was getting and what was going to be. But as it goes on, it's kind of like throwing a baseball. Like you said on the podcast, you told some kid, I've thrown more bad curveballs than you've thrown curveballs.
Yeah.
I've gotten more tattoos. You know what I'm saying? It's like one of those things. So then you just realize the seriousness of the situation. It's not that serious. It's not. It doesn't have to mean everything. And actually, some of my most meaningful or favorite tattoos are the ones that like are just stupid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, or like my last tattoo I got this little 36 right here on my wrist.
So that was my number of baseball.
Oh, no fucking way. That is crazy.
Yeah.
Talk about some serendipity. I did this for you.
Yeah. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate
I knew you were coming
that.
on the podcast. That's what I should have said. I should have been like, I knew you were coming on the podcast. No, so we went to Vegas, and me and my friend went to a $10 tattoo shop.
Okay.
Right? And we each got $10 tattoos.
Yeah.
This is actually $20, but there's two numbers. Anyways, but the point being is, what I like about that is that experience I had with my friend.
Yeah.
And then I could tell you about everybody that was in the tattoo shop and what they were doing and what stage of tattooing they were in. There were people that had never gotten tattoos before. There were people that gotten a bunch of tattoos. There were people that were tattoo experts. You know, the whole gamut, right? And it was the experience of doing that and doing this that I really like about this. Does this matter?
Cool.
Not really.
Yeah, but the experience you have associated
The experience
with it.
was, so, you know, a lot of it at this point became the experience I'm having. Like, I've gotten tattooed by guys that their vibe was crap. And it makes for a bad tattoo. You know, if the dude doing the tattoo acts like he don't want to be there,
Yes.
like, I mean, how's it supposed to make you feel?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like you're putting something permanent in his body, and he's like, man, I could give a fuck whether I was here or not. You know what I mean? That sucks. So, anyways.
Yeah. So then now, I guess that kind of answers my question for some of the tattoo. But then for like in the podcast in general, like obviously we do things for success, money, fame, whatever the heck it is. What do you want to get out of podcasting? Is it like a curiosity to meet people? Where does it stem from?
I think, you know, I recently did this kind of like little podcast tour where I kind of did some self-exploration of myself and what does all this mean and stuff. And like, so what you were saying on the podcast where you're like, you know, just committing yourself to like mastering something, that commitment to mastery. And it doesn't have to be like baseball or podcasting. It could be
anything.
knitting.
Yeah.
But the commitment to learning and failing and stuff, it really helps keep your aperture open as you age because that closes down smaller, right? And that stretching of yourself, you know, it's why, like, I don't know if this is true. Why is Myles Garrett the greatest, like, sack man of all time, right? Maybe it's because he likes ballet and other shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe it's just that. Like when he footballs, but he has all these other interests. He wants to do all these other things. He could be like a freak athlete too.
That plays a part.
But what I'm trying to say is like without that balance, is he just a guy with just talent?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that you should be cultivating that in your own life. And the podcast really has helped me kind of cultivate that because I was thinking like the other day, if I had to do this for money, it no longer becomes like my art, and it's not honestly, it might not be honestly what I want.
Yeah.
And so what does that say about me? Now, it doesn't mean I can't do something and get paid for it. It also means I have to be willing to sacrifice that as well. It's when business gets into baseball.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And no
Absolutely.
longer it's like, well, hey, I'm like kind of killing it, but like business wise, it doesn't make sense. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So like, why? Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So yeah. Anyways, you can ask me more tattoo questions if you want.
Well, that was, you kind of covered it. It's just like part of it is just like the memory you have with getting it.
Well, but like, also, I think I've talked about this before. I got tattooed like by my ex-wife, and she's not a tattoo artist. And so, you could go, well, how do you feel about another person that wasn't a tattoo artist doing a really crappy tattoo on you, and then now like y'all are not together anymore? But like again, it's a real like memorable tattoo,
Mm-hmm.
and the memory of that moment, that actual moment, was really great.
Yeah.
No one's ever gonna let me tattoo him, right?
Yeah.
And so that I can I separate that experience and go, that moment in my life was great. It doesn't define anything else just other than that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Why do we remember these certain things? Like, is there your minor league career you have?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I said like one like memory, is there like one core memory that kind of comes up that you think of?
Oddly, it was my first year, and it was crappy weather. It was kind of raining, and I was sitting in the bullpen, and another guy on the team the lights were shining, so it was kind of coming through the rain. So you can and it was just like misting, and he was running in to go pitch, and he was like, I want to say halfway to the mound, and it was I don't know, it was just like this is such a cool experience that I get to do this. Even if it didn't turn into millions of dollars, it was just like in that moment, it was like an image for a movie poster looking in.
Do you feel like in those moments you're like connected to something bigger than us?
Yeah, because there's also and there was one other moment. It was my very first game at the stadium, and just seeing the stadium, and that I was going to be playing in it. It was just like, I'll have that forever, regardless of where it went to.
So I don't know where originally we were talking about this, but I feel like the only memories I'm going to have are these like core kind of memories, and they're really weird sometimes.
Yeah.
The things I do remember.
Yeah.
But then there's these really great ones like what you remember.
Yeah, they're seemingly insignificant at the time,
right.
too.
And I have memories of things. I'm like, why do I even think
Yeah.
about this still?
Yeah.
Why does this cross my mind? Like random events and things like that. Things are just like, just the other day, I was talking about how, this is so random. My grandparents had this camper, and I want to go camping like so bad. Like my parents didn't do anything like that. So I had bought this camper, and then they had like a bunk bed, right? And like who doesn't want to sleep on a bunk bed? It just sounds exciting when you're like 8, 9 years old. But when like the ceiling is like this close to your face and you're claustrophobic, it was the worst night of my life, right? And like, why do I remember that? Why couldn't I forget that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that is just stuck in it's one of my core memories.
Yeah.
But again, then you have like really great stuff,
Yeah.
And that's what's so cool. I don't know, cool, I guess, about your memory. I don't know where that was coming from, but.
Yeah, no, but the source thing, that's when you're totally present is when you get to experience it. When you're not thinking about past, present, future, you're just present.
What did you say on the podcast? You said like broad stroke. What was the saying that you?
When you see the way broadly, when you understand the way broadly, you see it within all things.
Yeah, and I think that when you get in those moments where you see like everything, when you're like you're in the zone or whatever, right? Like you've never been more present in your life. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. No, for sure.
I think like this could be totally wrong. I feel like that sometimes when I'm driving my car, when you kind of get in the zone, like
Yeah,
driving
for
the
sure.
car.
Yeah.
Like because like now that I have my daughter in the car, like it's like I have to be all on before. Like I was careless before. That's crazy. But like, I have to be all on, right? And like she'll play music and I just hit it, Random.
No. Presence is where you find God.
Yeah, would it be like that's where he's most inside of you, right? Is that right? I'm just making stuff up.
I think it's more, he's always there.
That's when you feel him the most.
That's when you're aware of this presence.
You're aware that
Yeah.
you're aware that stuff is bigger than you. Maybe that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's weird. It's weird how stadiums do that. How stadiums make you feel. I mean, it's the same thing as like going to like the Grand Canyon.
Mm-hmm.
But like
You're
if
in
you've
awe.
ever
Yeah.
like if you've ever gone into like a stadium, a full stadium, and felt the energy.
Yeah.
I mean, what a maybe it's because like everybody's harnessing their energy at the same
Well,
time.
it's all being put in one direction. Whether it's like, if you're in basketball, it's a guy who's got the ball. If you're a pitcher, you are on the mound. You're the hitter. You're there. Like it's whoever. And in soccer, whoever has the ball. Like it's all of the energy of the culmination of everything that is on one specific point, and the energy is palpable. Like it's like a vibration. You feel, obviously it's a vibration because you have all the sound and the people yelling, but like, because we played in, this is my first year. We played in, it's a small mountain town. I'm blanking on the name right now. Asheville, North Carolina.
Oh, Asheville.
Yeah.
That's Astros, bro.
Yeah.
That's
And we were playing,
affiliation, yeah.
yes, we were playing the Astros, and it's not a huge crowd, like in terms of number, but the way that the back of the stadium comes up over the crowd, all of the noise is directed directly forward. So like kind of reverberates, and then behind there's like a hill behind it. So all the sound is, yeah. Have you been there?
Well, my friend Tyler owns a pizza place there.
Okay. Yeah. So, but it wasn't a crazy, but the people were there to watch baseball. They were there to have a good time and watch baseball. And in terms of like energy environment, it was one of the best, and it was freaking loud. It was really, really loud. So when it's not Game 7 of the World Series. It's like there wasn't really a whole lot on the line. A minor league baseball game in the middle of the season, it's not really that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things. But the energy, it's just like you feel it in your chest. Like it's it is addictive in the sense that it just like gives you life. It feels like life is being breathed into you.
You know, I was telling you about, I started taking these stand-up classes, stand-up comedy classes.
Yeah.
And so I started doing stage time.
Yeah.
Right? And there is, I could be wrong about this. I'm very new at this. So
Yeah.
but I feel like this is true, that you're going out looking to connect to the source.
Yeah.
Through the audience, right? To harness like as a pitcher, as you pitch better, the crowd, right? You're going to do that in a kind of a similar way. And if you don't do that, let me tell you, you're going to have a bad outcome.
No, I believe it. I totally believe it.
So my first time to ever get on stage was like 20 years ago. I did it one time and like quit, right? It was too much.
Yeah.
So this time I was like, okay, I'm all in, okay? And so my second time on stage was only like, at this point, like a couple weeks ago, something like that, right? And I just, the crowd was bad. Half of them have left. It was in a bar, and I just bombed. Like, it was just like bad. But then after that, I was like, well, how much worse could it get?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
You know where bottom is.
No one laughed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, if someone laughs next time, maybe,
progress.
you know what I mean? So I just worked with my coach more, and then now like I'm coming back with stuff that I'm like, oh, like this feels funny. I feel like I can connect with people and be funny with this.
Yeah.
Right? But I had to see it from like a different perspective, and also I had to fail.
Yeah.
I think that's
You have to
more
fail.
of a story of today. Failure is important, right?
Failure is important.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, you got anything else to ask me?
No, I think that's it. I think
That's
good.
it? Hey man, I appreciate you.
Oh.
Son of a gun. Spill my whole soda. Appreciate you so much. Thank you. It's not bad.